Hi everyone! So somehow my intro got deleted from my camera card, so I am doing my first voiceover on my new laptop, so I'm just going to try to make this quick. The long-awaited Elsa tutorial is finally here, and I'm sorry it has taken so long. Lately I have been kind of slacking in doing my princess tutorials, so hopefully I can get back up on my feet and start doing those again. And this design is my own original design. I know that there are already a lot of Elsa designs out there, but I still got many requests for this design. So here is the tutorial. This design is very, very difficult just because there is one big loom transfer for her cape. And yes, Elsa does have a cape on the back. It's kind of hard to see in this clip. But anyways, please make sure you do know how to do the triple single bracelet, or if you've made any of my other princess figurines, then you should be fine during this tutorial. And so now, without further ado, let's get started with the materials needed. So today you will need your loom, your hook, and approximately the amounts that will be stated of the bands. I may have miscounted, so this is just like approximate, but you will need about 26 skin tone bands, 19 white for the hair, and for the hair I'm using white pearl bands just to give it a pearlescent effect, and I think it looks really cool, but you can just use regular white if you'd like. And you'll also need 8 more white bands for the dress. That's just kind of an accent color on the dress. You'll need 48 turquoise bands for the dress and 65 turquoise jelly for the kind of cape part on her dress, as well as 2 black for her eyes. Now again, those are all approximate values because I may have miscounted. And this hook is the new hook that will be available from the Rainbow Loom web store starting around March 7th, 2014. And everything here is from the Rainbow Loom web store, so if you don't have any of these items, you can have them shipped straight to your house if you go ahead and check out their website. And now, without further ado, we can now get started. Before we begin, I'd just like to say that this is a very advanced design just because we will have one big loom transfer where we have to transfer our triple single cape to the rest of the body, which is extremely difficult, so you just might want to be aware of that before starting. And also, this design was made for the square set position. However, I have modified it just like a tiny bit so that way you guys can do it if you don't have a loom that can go into the square set position. So now we're going to go ahead and make the cape. So we will be using our turquoise jelly bands for this, and I just like to start with my loom's arrows pointing down all the time just so that way I get a better look at the big picture. So for this whole tutorial, we will be starting with our loom's arrows pointing down before doing any of the band processes. So now I am done talking, we're going to go ahead and get started. So this is basically a triple single, and I have my Elsa figurine next to me while I'm filming so I can make sure that I do everything correctly. But we are going to go ahead and make links for her cape. We will be making a total of 10 links on each pin bar here. So basically this is just a triple single. Make sure you do know how to do this before making this design. So I'm just going to go ahead and make my triple single bracelet using only my turquoise bands. We are only using single bands at this time. So I've got 2 rows here. Now onto my third one. My 4th row. And if I go too fast for you at any time in this video, feel free to press the pause button. There's my 4th row right there. Just finished my 5th row. Sixth row. Onto my 7th. Eighth. 9th, and 10th. And sorry, that's my heater in the background that just came on. Okay, so if you're not to this point yet, go ahead and feel free to pause the video here. If not, this is basically what my loom looks like. Just I've got single chains going down my loom for 10 rows. So here is my 10th row on each of these. So now we're going to go ahead and put horizontal bands across our loom. We're going to just start at the bottom here and work our way up. It really doesn't matter because these bands don't really affect each other, but we're going to go ahead and just start at the bottom. So the first band that we put on is a little bit different than the rest. We're going to go ahead and take single bands for this whole part. You're going, instead of making the traditional triangle that you usually would make like that, you're going to go ahead and you're going to stick it on the bottom left pin here. But instead of having this pin right here go in between the band, you're going to have the band go around it. And then stick the other end on the side here, so your band goes around the pin. Now the rest of it, you will be making the traditional triangles that go horizontally and look like this. So you're just going to make these going across all the way down to the bottom of your loom. But on the last 3 pins, we are going to skip those, so if you are following along, just basically follow along with me. So just making triangles, nothing different than you would normally in a triple single bracelet. And up to the top here. Now on these last 3 pins, you are not going to put a triangular band there, so just leave those bands out and scoot all the way down to the bottom of your loom, and we can now begin the hooking process. So this hooking process is pretty easy. So for the left side, you're just going to go inside of this horizontal band here, grab the bottom band, hook upwards. Same to the right side, go inside the horizontal band and hook this vertical band upwards. Now on this pin, we don't have any bands to go inside of, so just grab the band that you see on this pin and pull upwards. So from here on out, it is a regular triple single. There's nothing special throughout the whole thing. You're just going to do a regular hooking process. So I'm just going to continue on, and I won't really go that slow during this part just because this is very easy compared to the rest of this project. But if I do go too fast for you at the end when I am finished, you can go ahead and pause the video until you are caught up. Sorry, the other hook was in the way. And I'm down here to my last 2 rows. Okay, so I'm now finished with the whole length of my loom, and if you are not to this point yet, go ahead and pause the video. If not, please make sure that your loom looks like this. And if so, you can go ahead and remove everything from your loom. You should now have something like this, and basically I just have this triple single here. Leave these bands on the last 3 pins on, just because those are loose ends. Take this kind of flap here and just fold it over. So now we're going to go ahead and make the body of Elsa. We would also add on her head, but we don't have enough pins on our loom, so we're going to go ahead and have to do another transfer, but that transfer will be very simple and easy. So for her body, we're going to go ahead and just put all the bands on, and then we'll deal with this cape after that. So for this beginning part, you're going to need a couple of your skin tone bands. So I'm going to take my skin tone bands, and they're off to the side right here. I don't have space over here anymore. But we are going to be using double bands for this whole entire part for our loom. So if I don't specify how many bands I'm using, you can trust that I am using double bands. So I'm going to go ahead and make her neck with double of my skin colored bands. Go vertically. This is right below where the cape is, so fold that over, act like it's not even there. And now I'm going to go ahead and make her shoulders. Like that. So now you should have double bands in this kind of triangular form right there. So now we're going to go ahead and make her body. So you are going to need your turquoise jelly and white and regular turquoise for this. But for this first part, we'll just be using white and turquoise jelly. And we're going to take one white and one turquoise jelly. It does not matter which one is on top or on the bottom. I'm just going to be having my white on the bottom and turquoise jelly on the top. And we're basically going to make a triple single bracelet. So I'm just using those two again. Go vertically. Going to take one white and one turquoise jelly again. Go here. So all three of these have been one white and one turquoise jelly. We're going to do one last one with one white and one turquoise jelly in the center. And now we are done with that combination, so we're not going to use one white, one turquoise jelly anymore. It'll just be turquoise jelly. So going to take double turquoise jelly and put it on the left and right sides. Right there like that. So I've got all of this so far. And now we're going to do a mix of turquoise jelly and regular turquoise bands. So I'm going to take turquoise and turquoise jelly, and it does not matter which one's on the top and which one's on the bottom. I'm just going to use turquoise on the bottom. And this whole row here is going to be of that. So one turquoise jelly, one turquoise, and the same thing on this last pin, one turquoise jelly and one turquoise. Like that. So now the rest of our loom pattern is going to be just double turquoise bands. So if you have jelly bands here, you can go ahead and get those out of the way, because we will just be using double turquoise bands. So we are going to go ahead and do the rest of her skirt all the way down. So I'm taking double turquoise, and this is going to be going down for a total of 6 more rows. So I've got 1 row here. Still using just double turquoise bands, by the way. That's my 2nd row. Here is my 3rd row. On to my 4th row. And I got more bands. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows so far. This is my 5th row I am on right now. And my last row down here at the bottom. Okay, so I have now finished all of my bands, and if you are not to this point yet, please go ahead and pause the video. If not, I'll give you a recap of what I did. So I have double bands on everything, by the way. So I have skin-colored bands here, and then outwards. Then I have my one white, one turquoise jelly, and then turquoise jelly here. Then at this point here, I'm starting with just double turquoise, and I go down for 6 rows. So I have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 down my row. So now we're going to go ahead and add on the arms, and then the skin colored, and then the horizontal bands. So I know that for many of you, making things by hand is quite difficult, so we're going to make the arms using 2 pins right here, using the kind of hook over on each side kind of technique. So first we're going to start off with our skin colored bands, and since we want a triple looped cap band, we're going to start with kind of an awkward start. You're going to double loop a single skin colored band, and I'm at the bottom of my loom, by the way. You should have 3 extra pins here. I'm going to double loop this one skin colored band onto this bottom first pin. Now I'm going to hold on to one end still, and I'm going to attach it to this pin right here. Except when I attach it, I want to twist my band into a figure 8. So twist it and attach it to this next pin over here. So I've got a twisted middle plus an extra layer at the top right here, as you can see, like that. And now we're going to do 2 layers of double skin tone bands. So we're going to do our first layer first. Everything's double bands from here. So use 2 double skin colored bands. Now take your hook, and we're going to hook all the bottom bands over. So anything that is not the double bands that we just put on, we're going to hook over the pin. So on this right side would be just this, sorry, my hand's in the way, just this bottom band here. Grab that, pull it over. On this pin right here, it would be these double bands that we have on the bottom, since we wrapped it around twice on this pin. So you're going to go ahead, grab these 2 bottom bands here, and pull them over the pin carefully. And this gives us a triple loop band right there. Push your bands down. We're going to add another set of double skin colored bands, like that, and simply just hook the bottom bands up and over. So hook the bottom over and hook the bottom bands down here over the pin, like that. So you should now have this kind of little link right here. Now we're going to move on to kind of like the dress color. We will be using only turquoise jelly for this part, as well as 1 white band at the very end. So first you're going to take double turquoise jelly and put those on, and then hook over the bottom bands like normal. So just hook over here and hook over on this side. Oh, off camera. Like that. Now we're going to add another set of double turquoise jelly bands. So double turquoise jelly, add that on, and hook the bottom double bands over. So hook those over like that, and push your bands down. Lastly, we're going to do a mix of 1 turquoise jelly and 1 white. So take 1 white band, 1 turquoise jelly band, and it doesn't matter the order that you place it on. I'm just going to put turquoise on the bottom and white on the top. It won't really make a difference later on. And I'm going to go ahead and do another hooking process on the bottom, like that. So now you should have something like this, and we're going to go ahead and do 1 more of these. So do 1 more stitch. Sorry if I said earlier that we'd only be doing 1 with white, because I just looked at my figurine. We do need more stitches. So 1 white and 1 turquoise, again, put those on, and hook the bottom bands up and over. Like that. So now you should have this completed arm here. You should have 5 links hanging off plus 1 that is across these 2 pins. Now we want to get both of these ends on each of the pins together, so that way we can attach it to our loom. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this side here. Kind of use your finger to hold these bands down. Use your hook and grab this right side, and then use your hook to go over and grab the left side. So basically you just want to grab both sides, like that. So that way now you have all of these links onto your hook. So grab your loom, and we're going to transfer this up at the top where the skin colored bands are, and I'm just going to transfer it to the left side first. So grab these double bands here, stick your finger inside of them, and transfer them over to the pin like that, and just let it kind of hang there. Push those bands down, and we're going to go ahead and make one more arm. So go back down to the bottom of your loom, and we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to move a little bit faster this time. So first take a single skin colored band, wrap it twice around this bottom pin like that. So I've got it wrapped twice around this bottom pin, and then I'm going to twist it into a figure 8 and let the other end go onto this right side pin here like that. Now I'm going to take double skin colored bands and go across like that. Take my hook and hook over the bottom bands. I'm going to grab this bottom skin colored band and pull it over. And on this side I'm going to grab the bottom double skin colored bands here and pull that over like that. So now we have a triple looped band here. Push your bands down. We're going to add one more layer of double skin tone bands like that, and simply hook the bottom layers over like that. Now we're going to do double turquoise jelly bands. Grab double turquoise jelly, put those across the two pins, and hook over. Sorry, I'm like blocking the view. Okay, like that. Now we're going to go ahead and take double turquoise jelly again, put it across those two pins, try a different angle this time, and hook over the bottom double bands. Now's the time when we're going to mix one turquoise jelly and one white. It does not matter which one's on the top and which one's on the bottom. So I'm just going to take these two, put it across those two pins, and hook over the bottom bands. Like that. Do that one more time. One turquoise jelly plus one white band. I have another white band. Here we go. And put that across those two pins, and again hook the bottom bands up and over. Okay, so if you're not to this point yet, go ahead and pause the video, but the pattern is pretty much 2 of each color, 2 skin tone, 2 turquoise jellies, and then 2 1 white, 1 turquoise jelly, which I'm referring to the links here, 2 links of each. So now we're going to go ahead and attach both ends on our pins to our hook. Going to grab the right end and grab the left end like that. Pull those off of the pins, and now we can go ahead and transfer this to the top of our loom here to the right shoulder. So just kind of stretch it a little bit, stick your fingers inside the loops, and transfer this over to this top right pin with the shoulder. And I'm just going to let the arm kind of dangle out that way. And now we have successfully attached the arms. We're going to go ahead and put on some horizontal bands now. So I'm here at the top of my loom, and we're going to start putting on our horizontal bands. Now for this, we're going to start at the top and work our way to the bottom for these horizontal bands. For the top, we're going to start with our turquoise jelly bands, and the first 3 pins are going to be these 3 pins that we put them on. We're going to use a single bands for this, and you're going to go across those 3, but you're going to double loop it. So basically put a cap band around, so twist that twice around those 3 pins. You're going to do that another time on the following 3 pins below. Twist those over like that. So now we're going to go ahead and do that one last time. Take one turquoise jelly band, wrap it around these 3 pins, and double loop it like that. So from here down, we're just going to be using single bands that are not double looped. They're just going to be laid once on across the pins. And we're going to use regular turquoise bands for this, so no more jelly. Just lay those across the next 3. Single bands for this, the next 3. The next 3. Like that. So now I'm down to these last 3 pins, and we're going to kind of do the same thing that we did on the cape for the beginning. You're going to take a single turquoise band, and you're going to go onto the bottom left, but you're going to twist around this middle pin, so go around it, and then to this bottom right pin here. And now we're going to go ahead and start the hooking process. So go down to the bottom of your loom, and we're going to just start basic hooking. So go inside of this bottom left and hook upwards, like that. Do the same thing to the right side, go inside the horizontal band and hook upwards. Now for this bottom pin, we obviously don't have any bands to go inside of, so grab all the bands that are at the slit of the pin and hook upwards. So from here is basically a regular triple single. We are not going to do anything special like twist the bands or whatever, so you can speed off ahead if you would like. I just probably won't be talking during this because there's not really anything to tell you guys how to do, because you should already know how to do this before making this design. Okay, so now I am about to hook these last few rows here. But if you were on this part and you speed ahead, do not hook the last row of bands, because we're going to transfer the little cape. Or do not hook the bands that are for the shoulders. Okay, so I'm up on this last row. We are going to hook these last 3 bands here. Okay, so I've hooked all the bands on my loom, so here's a quick preview. And so I have hooked all the bands except for these 2 bands that are the shoulders plus the neck. So I've hooked all the triple single that goes vertically. And at this time we are going to transfer the cape. Now this is one of the most difficult things to do, so watch carefully as to what I am doing. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom you guys in a little bit. Taking my hook. You want to keep your hook's tip, the open slit here, away from you. You're going to stick your hook inside of the pin. Do not go on the outside and grab it. You want to go on the inside of the pin and transfer this onto your hook. So use your pointer finger to hold these bands down as you pull it off of the pin. We're going to do the same thing to the middle one. See, we do have these bands on our pin, but we do have these bands on our hook, but you're going to just ignore that and hold them down with your pointer finger and just go inside of this pin again. Make sure that your hook slit is facing away from you. So just going inside, transferring that off like that. So now we have 4 bands here. Use your pointer finger to hold those down again. And we went in through the slit, so we're going to do the same thing. Go inside, transfer those bands onto your hook. Oop, fell off. Okay, I saved it. So now we're going to go down to where the shoulders are here. And so, as you can see, we have 6 bands on our pin. I keep calling this a pin. We have 6 bands on our hook here. And obviously they are in, why does this one keep falling off? Okay, they are in sets of 2 for each single chain. So this is one single chain, this is another single chain in the middle, and on the very right side, oh my gosh, it fell off again. Okay, on this very right side we have another single chain. So these are in sets of 2 bands. So as we transfer these, make sure that all your bands are pushed down to the very bottom of the pins. We're going to transfer onto this top left pin first. So on your hook, you're going to grab the 2 bands that are closest to the tip and carefully transfer those on as you're using your pointer finger to hold back all the extra bands. Put that on the pin and push it down. You're going to grab the next 2 bands that are closest to the tip of your hook. Use your pointer finger to hold back any unwanted bands. Transfer those to the middle pin here, like that. One last time, do not lift your hook so high so that way these ones will, on the other pins will fall off here, so be careful. And transfer those onto this right pin here, like that. So that was the most difficult part. If you got through it with me, then yay for you, and if you haven't yet, just keep trying, don't give up. Go ahead and pause the video here because we are going to go ahead and continue the hooking process. So now you're going to go ahead, the rest is easy, and you're going to hook these 2 inside bands. So start on the left pin, go inside all of the bands, and grab the bottom 2 bands. So I've got 1, and I've got 1 more to go, like that. Now I'm going to hook the right side, go inside all of those bands, hook these 2 upwards like that, and lastly the neck bands. Go inside all the bands on your pin, hook those upwards. So we are now done with the body of Elsa, and we're going to go ahead and remove everything off of our loom, but first please make sure that everything on your loom looks the same as mine. And I'm going to go ahead and remove everything now. So I remove everything except for the neck piece here, and it's just kind of awkwardly laying here with the rest of the body. So I'm just going to kind of tuck it into the pin so it won't fall out. And now we're going to go ahead and make the head of Elsa. So first I'm going to just scoot down a couple of pins, just go 1, 2, 3, 4. This is only going to take a little bit of pins, but just starting on the 4th pin here. Zoom out a little bit. And I'm going to start with double white bands, and I'm using white pearl for her hair, but you can also use regular white bands for this. So I'm taking double white and going vertically, and now we are going to go ahead and start on her hair. So for this we will be using all double bands for her head. So I'm going to take double white, with my arrows pointing down by the way. This is all double bands. Okay, so I've done all white double bands. So I've got this so far. Now we're going to take double of our skin tone bands and go vertically on the inside of her face and go vertically on the inside of her face again. That. And sorry, we are going to need our hair bands again. You're going to go vertically using double again and vertically on the right side. Now we're going to need our skin tone bands again. Use double skin tone and kind of go upwards connecting. And yes, it is sort of a weird face shape, but as soon as you take it off the loom, it looks wonderful. So use double skin tone bands again and connect this last part here, like that. So now we do need to make Elsa's braid, so we can attach it to one of the pins here. It doesn't really matter which one, but anyways, that doesn't really matter right now. Since I know that making things by hand is hard for you guys, we're just going to use 2 random pins on our loom. I'm going to go ahead and use these 2 pins right here that are near the bottom of my loom. Here's the end, by the way. And so I'm going to be making links using my white pearl bands. So first I'm going to do the same technique that we did for the arm. You're going to take a single band, wrap it around the left pin twice, and twist it as a figure 8 and apply it onto the bottom or the next pin. So you should have something like this. Now instead for this design, instead of using double bands, we're only going to be using single bands at a time. So I'm going to put a single band across and hook the bottom 2 over on the left pin and the bottom right, like that. So you should have something like that. And for Elsa's hair, you can make it as short or as long as you'd like. If you like this same length ratio that I have on my already made figurine, then you will need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 links. So you're going to need to make 5 more links onto this. You can adjust it to make it shorter or longer, however you please, but this is just how many I did. So I'm going to go ahead and do 5 more links. So 1, 'Pulling the bottom band over, by the way. 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I have now finished this single chain, and I've got a total of 6 links, and in addition to the first one that we made, I added 5 more on for a total of 6. So now I'm going to go ahead and pick up both ends with my hook. So I'm going to pick up this right end here, and then this left end here. So basically I've got this single chain on my hook. So now I'm going to go back over to where her face was, and it doesn't really matter what side you put this on her face, but I'm just going to go ahead and put it on the right side. I'm not sure what side it's on in the movie, because I haven't seen the movie before, even though I really want to. But you can put it on whichever bottom pin that you would like. So it's either one of these pins. I'm going to put it on this one. So I'm going to go ahead and just use my fingers to transfer this single chain onto the bottom pin. Here. Like that. So now I have her braid hanging off of that. And we're going to go ahead and add on the eyes and 1 horizontal band. So first you're going to need your 2 black bands, and you can use whatever color you'd like for her eyes, but I like using black for eyes. So I'm going to go onto this middle pin on the right side, and I'm going to wrap my single black band around 4 times on this pin. Like that. So I've got quadruple looped band onto this middle pin here on the right. Do the same thing to the left side, should be straight across from the other one. 2, 3, 4. So you should have 2 eyes right there. Now we are going to go ahead, take a single colored, skin colored band. You're going to put it across the 3 pins here, yeah, and you're going to double loop it. So go ahead and wrap it around a second time, like that. And now we're going to go ahead and move the eyes from the pin and hook them kind of over and onto this double loop band so they kind of cinch this inside right here. So you're going to go down and grab the loops of the black here and pull them over the pin. And you can grab them one at a time or all of them at once if you'd like. But just grab them, don't go inside of the pin, make sure you stay on the outside and grab them. Pull them over so that way you get something like this. You're going to do the same thing to the other side. Make sure you don't go inside the horizontal band, stay outside of all the bands. You can grab them one by one if you'd like, or you can grab a couple at a time, or all of them at a time. So you should now have all of those bands cinching this band here. So we've got one last thing to do, which is get the body. So I'm going to take my hook and just stick it inside of this pin and grab all those bands of the body. Go down here, and we're going to attach these to this middle pin right here. So grab those double bands and attach them to this middle pin here. So we're going to go ahead and start the hooking process. Now you might want to hold on to the body and stretch it back a little bit so that way you can see the rest of the stuff here a little bit easier. But you're going to grab the top 2 bands. They should be going to the bottom right. And it is a little bit awkward hooking downwards, so be careful. And the next 2 should be going to the left, like that. And the last 2 in the middle should be going vertically. Now just hook the rest like you normally would. Oop, those fell off the pin. It's okay, it won't affect anything because I had already grabbed those bands. And the camera has to focus. On this pin, make sure you go inside the bands that are for the hair. And my hands are blocking, sorry. Make sure you go inside the bands that are for the hair. Like that. And now the last 3 bands up here. Make sure you go inside of the horizontal bands. Go inside. Lastly, the 2 bands, or 2 sets of bands that close it off. Like that. And the final band that holds everything together. Whew, okay, we are finally done. My arms hurt. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and tie this off. If you would like, you could take a C-clip and attach these together. If not, I'm going to show you how to tie it off without using a C-clip or whatever kind of clip. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to pull the bottom 2 bands up and over the pin. You're not going to go inside, you're going to stay on the outside. Grab the bottom layer, pull it over the pin like that. Grab the remaining bands on the pin, give it a little tug here, and you have now tied off your creation. So if you are using white pearl bands, then you might want to give it a little extra tug just because these bands are rounded and don't have as good of a grip. And now I'm going to go ahead and remove everything from my loom. So this is the side that is face up as soon as you take it off of your loom. But this is the back side because as you can see her cape is covering. So you want to go ahead and flip your design over and give it tugs all around so that way you have like a more elongated figure. And my face on hers is messed up, so give that tugs all around. This is the most this is the easiest way to improve your figurines and charms instantly, is basically just making all these changes here just by tugging and pulling to even everything out. And that is pretty much it. So thank you guys so much for watching this tutorial. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it helped you out, and also if you made this figurine successfully. Also hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Also follow me on Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter, and Facebook. All my links are in the description box below. Once again, this is my own original design, and I really hope you guys liked it. I love this cape back here. And anyways, once again, thank you for watching this tutorial, and I will see you guys later. Bye!